may have heard we have a brand new and improved Pinpoint Weather App. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would you go change the already best weather app on the market? I get it. But what if I told you this app that is new and improved is much, much better? What's going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas back with you for another episode of WeatherWise exclusively on News 6 Plus. And over the next 30 minutes that we're hanging out together, we are going to talk all things new and improved Pinpoint Weather App. Now, face value here, some transparency. When you open up the app, there's still going to be some changes to the interface going forward. This is a work in progress, and we're going to continue to make this better and better. That is a word right from our developers. The forecast you see on the app will continue to come right from us, the meteorologists of the Pinpoint Weather team. But trust me, all the other bells and whistles, the alerts, the early storm detection, and the radar are much more powerful than the old app. And we're going to break down how to play with all of those bells and whistles over the next 20 to 30 minutes. First, I do have to talk about the Android. It's a slower rollout. For whatever reason, on the Android side, it has not hit the App Store just yet. So keep on looking for it. We're going to keep you guys updated. But everybody on the iOS side should have the app in the store and should have automatically downloaded again. We're going to keep everybody updated as, for whatever reason, that slow trickle on the Android side of things continues. Before we get into all that, though, I do want to get you a check of what your Pinpoint weather is doing, your Pinpoint accurate forecast, and of course, your tropical update. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. Grab your phone, open up the Pinpoint Weather App, and let's get to it. We're breaking this down in real time, so that's why I might be looking down a little bit. I'm looking at my phone, and we're going to scroll through this together so you can get the most out of this new and improved Pinpoint Weather App. All right, so first and foremost, when you open up the app, you are brought to the home screen right here. You see the current conditions and forecast. We'll get into that in just 1 second. Then you see the radar. If you click on the radar, it will bring it full. So you have the full screen. You can look all around and zoom in. We're going to have a complete breakdown of the radar section of this app at the end of the show. There's so much to play with. I can't wait to show you that. One of the most frequently asked questions so far with the app is, how do I get back to the home screen? It's a really good question. Locate the Pinpoint Weather icon. It's in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Just tap that, and that's going to take you right back to where you were on the home screen. All right, so just under the radar, we have the video forecast. So before our shift, before the newscast, we record a video update for you. So if you were liking to get deeper into the forecast and see what's going on with the weather, just tap that video forecast section, and that's going to bring you to the most recent video update from one of the meteorologists on the Pinpoint Weather team. Continuing to scroll down to the weather headline section. This is a really cool one here, especially if you like to get a little more detail in your weather forecast. That'll take you to our website here with a bunch of different articles. You see a tropics update article, and then an article on the heat, so some heat advisories that were in play. Again, all of that is going to give you much more information in detail when it comes to your weather. So that is going to be under the weather headlines. Remember, we're going to hit that Pinpoint Weather icon in the upper left to get you back to the home screen. Right underneath the weather headlines, you see Pin It really big. This is where you can send your photos to us. We love to showcase your photos, and we love seeing them. So if you ever have a photo on your phone, all you need to do is tap that pin it section and then upload right from your phone. If you're an insider, it's free to be an insider as well. So just make sure you do that, sign up, just so we know where your location is and where the photo's coming in from. We can showcase that all across our News 6 platform. So a really easy tool to send us your weather photos. And then just below that, it's a link to download to the app stores to download our news app and our hurricane tracker app. Both of those are awesome, so you should download both of those. All right, another frequently asked question here. It's the location. How do I set the location? And then we're going to break down each section here. So right up at the top of your screen, you see the date. To the right of that, you see that little kind of pinpoint thing. Click that. It's right next to the gear in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. It's going to bring up a bunch of different things. You can either turn on your current location, which I highly recommend. That way, if there's any alerts, it's going to follow you, and you can stay up to date on any kind of weather situation. And then you can also add a bunch of locations around Central Florida or around the country, and you're going to get updates on the weather there as well. So you can add MIMS, Titusville. If you have a spot that you like to go to in Marion County, maybe the Ocala, around Ocala or in Brevard County or anything like that, you can have a bunch of those sets, and you can have the alerts turn on or off just by hitting that on the right hand side, that blue bar, or once that circle goes to the right and turns blue, that's when you know the alert is enabled for that location or your current location. Again, it's really fun to play with a bunch of different locations as well. So that is how you turn on the location. Also, let me set one up in real time here. So let me just go to, let's go to MIMS. So there's MIMS, Florida for you, and then we're going to save that. So now we have my location as Orlando and MIMS. So we'll go back, and then you'll notice at the top of your screen here where it says Orlando, Florida, just below the date at the very top. If you swipe to the left, it's going to swipe through the different forecasts. So I have 2 Orlandos and then 1 MIMS, but you see the difference. So in downtown Orlando, it's 90 and a partly cloudy skies. Swipe to the left, and now we're into the MIMS category, and we have 88 degrees, and then the forecast for MIMS comes up. So it's detailed to where you are. So the phone knows where you're at. And the weather forecast knows where you're at, and you're going to get that literally pinpoint accurate forecast across the board. Also notice something cool. The radar also centers different. So I'm back on Orlando, and that's just the radar to get to. We'll play with it again towards the end of the show, but there's the radar right there, and then you see as I swipe back to MIMS, it has all of that. It centers the radar screen right over MIMS. So when you tap that and it comes full, now we're looking at MIMS, and then we have a little icon. So we know all of our saved locations on where we are. So it's really, really cool. It's a really fun thing to play with. All right, so we're going to go back now. Obviously, one of the biggest things when you're getting ready for your day, you want to know the forecast, okay? So if you want that hour-by-hour forecast, it's just one extra tap. Just tap on the current conditions screen right there. It's going to pop up the extra interface. So now you see the current conditions in Orlando, 90, calm, feels like 101, it's hot. But look at the hourly forecast. It is right there for the first couple of hours, and then there is your daily forecast. Just swipe left or right to get the rest of the days. If you want the extended currents forecast, you see the tabs start to pop up now. So just click on currents. There are the currents of everything. You have the wind speed, you have the sunrise, you have the pressure, you have the cloud cover, everything that you ever want. The dew point, the pressure in inches of mercury. There you go with the hour by hour forecast in the hourly section. You can scroll right on through to find when the rain chances are going to be at their highest or how hot it's going to be. And then here's the daily forecast, and this is cool because you just scroll left to right to get to the next several days here, and it's the 7+ day forecast. You see it right there: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, into Monday. So the next 7 days, and you scroll, and you can get more detailed on the actual app or on the actual day itself, or you can actually click the days and go through, and then the icons come up, and it fast forwards you to the extra description. So if we're looking at Sunday, 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high temperature 93, the winds are light out of the south at about 3 miles an hour. So all of that is right there. It's just that one extra tab. Again, we'll go back, just click on the current and forecast section. It brings you to that overview, and then just go to hourly. It's the third tab in, and you can get that hour-by-hour forecast. I know that is a super popular thing that everybody wants, and that is all right there. Just make sure you're clicking on that current conditions and forecast bar, if you will, at the top of your screen. All right. We talked about all of the different ways to find current conditions, into the forecast, how to set your location. Now is the really, really fun part, the storm tracking. We get storms all the time. You can track these in great detail with the new and improved high-resolution, super detailed, pinpoint accurate radar. We're going to talk about that and some of the also new and improved. I've said that a lot, but it seriously is all of the new and improved alerts that you can get on your phone, in addition to the regular National Weather Service watches and warnings. We're going to break all that down coming up. First, though, I do want to get you another check of your pinpoint accurate forecast. Hey guys, we have found ourselves back on the home screen of the new and improved Pinpoint Weather App. We're talking about the radar in this part of the show, and there's 2 ways to get to it. The easiest way, right when you open up the app, it's right smack dab in the middle. It looks tiny right now. Just tap anywhere in the middle of that radar, and then it brings it full screen for you to play with, zoom in and out and all of the above. So that's one way to get there. The next way, and remember that pinpoint weather graphic or that pinpoint weather icon in the top left corner of your app, that's going to get you back home every single time you need to do that, get back to the home screen. The other way to get to the radar is maybe you're perusing the current conditions or looking at the hour-by-hour forecast. You click on that top bar there, and then that brings out where we were in the previous section of the show, and then you go through all of your different tabs up top, and the furthest one to the right is going to be your radar tab. That gets you to where you need to go as well. So a couple of cool things right off the bat, where we set the location. Remember earlier in the show we set MIMS as one of our location. Those are the two I already had set. The blue represents my current condition, so that, or my current location. That's where we are at News 6, and then I have downtown Orlando saved in there as well. So I have 3 things set. Cool thing about this feature is I know a lot of people love the future radar. It's much more powerful. So if I were to hit the play button, note the little cloud at the bottom of your screen, it's going to kind of scrub across the bottom and take you real time, and then it pauses, and then the dash lines are the future radar. So that's going to be the model data that comes back in. We'll let that roll one more time, and then that can slide on through, and then you can also again watch it go, and you can move it with your finger yourself. So I have my thumb right now controlling that at my own speed, going back and just kind of analyzing what's going on with those storms. So there is all of that, and that's how you go to the play mode. And then the quick future radar, there's an extended future radar as well. Note that there's some lightning northwest of Ocala at the time that we are looking at the app at the time of this recording. That is a really cool overlay that we have. So to go to the overlays and to change your overlays, we're going to go to the upper right hand corner of the app and click that red gear. So now it's going to bring up a couple of different options. You have the data option, the overlay option, and then the setting option, and that's where you can kind of change things to light mode or into dark mode. So we'll go back to light, and it kind of, you see it changes the color of that. We're going to go back to the auto, so that gives us a little bit of a darker screen. I happen to like the darker, but it's whatever you want. It's your app, so you can customize it. So there's a ton of lightning out there. So as I got off on that tangent, here's where you set some things. And to get a bunch of different things onto your radar, you can go to the overlay section. That's where you can turn on lightning, you can turn on storm tracks, and you can turn on all alerts. We're going to go back to the NHC tracks and spaghetti models in just one second. But you see now all the alerts across the country are on, so you can see what's going on. I have the overlay, the lightning on. I believe this little block, that's telling me that there's a storm right there. Okay, so the block that pops up, that square, that's going to be, and that's the other thing too, is I'm just clicking everywhere along the map. It gives me the information that I need to know. So this is just south of Jacksonville. Anytime there's a little white square that pops up, just click on that. It labels it a storm. It has the different kind of dots in there and where it's going to go. It has that fan, if you will. And if you click the information, it gives you all the information on that storm. So DBZ is a measure of kind of the higher the DBZ, the more reflectivity is in that storm. And again, the stronger the storm typically is, it tells you the hail percentage. So in that one, there's 20% chance for hail. And then all those dots that we saw within that fan, those are of course cities. And then it gives you that list in the approximate time to arrival. You also saw at the bottom of the screen here, you can filter out cities. So if you're looking for the bigger cities, you just go to the right, and then it just filters everything out. If you keep it on the left where it is, you get every single small town. So if you live in a smaller neighborhood or a smaller community, you don't want to touch that, so you can make sure that you have the timeline to arrival if a storm cell is been identified. The other cool thing here is I mentioned about the watches and warnings. So that orange right there, that's the heat advisory that is in play. So I just clicked right there, and I have another new pin, that orange pin that popped up. So you can set pins on the fly too. So now I have the fact that tell me if there's an advisory in play. It's going to tell me that there's an advisory there, and it's going to give me all of the information that I need to know for wherever I wanted it. And you see that heat advisory really extends back, and there's a lot of other heat advisories or excessive heat warnings in the middle part of the country. Again, this isn't just for a local purpose. You can set those locations for all across the country if you have friends or family in different spots. Now, there are no tropical systems out there just yet, but this is a really, really cool thing. You can also overlay the National National Hurricane Center track and model. So if there is something out there, you're going to get the latest spaghetti models out there. It was really cool to watch Invest 92. Thankfully, again, didn't materialize, but we had all the spaghetti plots for it. And then for Tropical Storm Alberto, and you can kind of see it's still left there. It's lingering last icon. That's what it would kind of look like. And then you would see the forecast coming from the Hurricane Center. So it's really cool to have that overlaid all right there. So that's going to be the overlay section. So I'm going to turn off the alerts on the map and kind of clean things up. I like to have the storm tracks on as well. So that is in the overlay section. Now we're going to go to the data section, and this is really neat. So right now, of course, to see the radar, I have the national radar on. So that's where we can see everything that's going on across the country and, of course, what we care about in Florida. So if I go back to the data section, now I can turn on temperature. So look at that. Now I can see the temperature across the country where it's really, really hot, some colder air, in the yellows and blues up south of the Hudson Bay. So that's a really cool overlay, or really cool data product, I should say. We have the satellites, infrared at night, and then visible during the day. And this is really, really cool because look how crisp that data is that we're talking about, the satellite data coming through. We can see right here the sea breeze initiate. You can clearly see where the skies are clear right along the coast. That's the sea breeze front pushing in, and now we have those puffy cumulus clouds. So we can identify here in real time where the sea breeze is because of the high resolution radar and the high resolution satellite. I mean, look at that. It's super, super awesome. Plus, we still have the lightning overlaid on that. We'll go back to the gear setting. Okay, this is not going to apply to us, the snow accumulation at all, but it's cool to look at in other parts of the country. What is also neat is the forecast radar. This is the 24-hour forecast radar. Same thing with like before. You can take your thumb or finger and just scrub it across the bottom of your screen, or you can hit that play button, and it's going to take a second to load, and then it's going to generate the future radar of, again, the model data. It's the same model data that we get. It's exclusive to the station here that we are going to pump right into that, so you can kind of see what's going on over the next 24 hours. You can pause it and then take the cloud back. Again, you're moving that cloud is going to get that to go forward or backward. You can do it at your own pace as well. So we're going to hit that gear again because there's some other things I want to show you. You can go to the forecast rain amounts. Same deal. Take that cloud across the screen with your thumb. There are the forecast rainfall amounts that you can see with the legend, or the bar legend up top. You can see some places are in that darker orange. That's going to be 1.5 to 2 inches of rain in those daily sea breeze thunderstorms that we get. Also the forecast winds. So this is really cool. If there's a bigger storm coming or just a stiff breeze off of the Atlantic. So another really cool thing, very useful during storm season, of course. Hopefully we don't get anything that's going to help take the power out. But if we do, you can check up on power outages either by county or state. So there's actually some power outages in Polk County already. You see it's less than 10%. We're in that blue mark, so nothing crazy in terms of power outages, thankfully. There's been some bigger storms up into Michigan lately. So there's, from a countywide basis, there's been a lot more in terms of power outages. They've had some really, really nasty storms over the last couple of weeks. But you see there, more than 60% of the counties just north of Detroit are without power. The customers within some of those counties, I'm not too familiar with those northern Michigan counties, so forgive me that I don't know what county that is. We'll go back, though, to a state perspective. You can see the same thing. So now it's going to be state by state. So now we have the whole Michigan state highlighted there in the red, and that's going to give it to a number of customers. So as a whole, there's about 100,000 customers without power in the state of Michigan because of those storms. And then for Florida, it's less than 5,000 here because we haven't had anything significant, thankfully, and could just be heat related, or could just be maybe a transformer blowing. But that's one of the things that you can stay up to date on, and you can kind of track if we're ever in that storm scenario. But I can't express enough how excited I am about this radar and about the new overlay features, especially with the interactive hurricane tracks and things like that. And you can kind of mix and match. You can have the hurricane track and spaghetti plots on at the same time with maybe the forecast rainfall. So you can play that all together and watch, okay, how much rain is expected, where the storm is coming ashore, and all that stuff. So this is really cool. And again, it's not just for local. Look at all the lightning data through South America, through the Caribbean, with another tropical wave sliding through. Really, really powerful tool. It's really awesome. I can't speak highly enough about it. I talked about this earlier in the show that we're likely going to be seeing some more changes come in the short term to how the interface looks and the user friendliness, if you will. We're going to talk much more about that again as we wrap up the show. First, though, I do want to get you another check of what the weather's doing outside. Make sure you have location services turned on. It's going to give you the most out of this app, especially with the watches and warnings potentially issued by the National Weather Service and other secondary alerts. Lightning detection is a feature on this app. If you're within 15 miles of a lightning strike, you're going to know about that so that you can get things indoors and take cover. There's also rotating storm alerts. So if a storm is trying to rotate, potentially trying to produce a tornado, you're going to know about that as well so you can take appropriate action. Or if it's a dangerous storm, maybe some large hail, damaging winds, things of that nature. If the radar picks up on it, it's going to send you an alert if you have the location set, not only for the location following you, but if you have locations around Central Florida or around the country, you will get those specialized alerts for all of those areas that you have set if you have the alerts set and turned on. It's really cool. And again, that is potentially life-saving technology that we are now bringing to you on this new and improved Pinpoint Weather app. If you have any questions, I know change is a little hard. You're used to the old app, and now we've brought you this new thing. Trust me, this one is much more powerful. Please just keep playing with it. You're going to get used to it. If you have any questions, the Pinpoint Weather team is here for you. Hit me up, shoot me an email, jkegas@wkmg.com. I'd be happy to send you any information that you need. And again, you can rewatch this anytime on demand on News 6 Plus or on clickorlando.com/weatherwise. Until next time, we will see you right back here exclusively on News 6 Plus for another edition of Weatherwise at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday.